Beach High School. I'm here today to advocate for all high school students in the Seattle Public School District to receive a free Orca card.
Yeah.
Getting to and from school is a major barrier for many of my students, as the cost of public transit is expensive and Seattle Public School District does not use yellow buses at the high school level. At Rainier Beach, we have 80 students who are currently homeless, and also nearly 90% of our students are on free or reduced lunch. That's important because the cost of lunch is less expensive than the cost of bus fare. Seattle Public Schools' current transportation policy is as follows. High school students who live more than 2.5 miles from their neighborhood school are eligible to receive a free Orca card. All students who live within 2.5 miles are expected to spend their own money on bus fare, walk, or find a ride. Keep in mind, the 2.5 mile rule is as the crow flies, meaning the actual walking route can be more than 3 miles long or close to 6 miles round trip. To put that into perspective, a student who attends Rainier Beach High School and lives near Boeing Field on the opposite side of I-5 would not be eligible for an Orca card. I question the equity of this policy. Although this rule applies to all schools in Seattle, it disproportionately affects students and families from low-income backgrounds and neighborhoods. Every day, at least one student comes to my office asking for a bus token to get home because they don't have the money for it. We had a stock of these in September and we ran out by November. This demonstrates our level of need. So I either have to turn them away to walk home in the rain and in the dark, or just give them cash from my wallet. I want to bring a visual to mind. If you've ever visited schools like Roosevelt, Ballard, or Nathan Hale, imagine in your head what the parking lots in those schools look like. They're typically full to the brim. In fact, students actually compete in a lottery to get a parking pass. Now I want you to think about Rainier Beach's parking lot. It's usually only about 75% full, the majority being staff vehicles. Many students and families at Rainier Beach don't have access to a car, let alone own a car of their own. Students who live less than 2 miles away from Roosevelt or Ballard are far more likely to drive themselves or carpool with a friend. But students who live within 2.5 miles of Rainier Beach have no option but to walk if they can't afford the bus fare. It's also not the safest neighborhood in the area to be walking 6 miles a day. You might be thinking to yourself, back in my day, I walked 8 miles to school, uphill, both ways. My response to that is, shouldn't we be making it as easy as possible for students to get to school?
Yes.
Since this rule has a much harsher effect on families in poverty, it's all the more important that we advocate on their behalf. Many of my students who struggle to pay for bus fare end up missing a lot of school. Parents will try to call in and excuse their absence to say we just can't afford the fare and I don't feel comfortable with them walking, but that's not an excused absence. So this negatively affects their grades. They begin to fail their classes and lose motivation to come to school altogether. Graduating from high school is a major protective factor for youth at risk and is a necessary step towards upward social mobility for all young people, and upward social mobility for our young people is good for everybody. So, please, free Orca cards for students.
Yeah!